When I first played Hollow Knight, I lasted maybe 30 minutes. That was it. I wandered into a few caves, swung my nail around, got lost almost immediately, and decided the game just wasn't for me. It felt too quiet, too massive, and honestly, kind of overwhelming. Everyone around me seemed to call it one of the best games ever made, but I couldn't see it. To me, it was just another game I bought on sale, tried once, and then let sit in my library like a guilty secret. And then Silksong happened. From the moment I picked up Silksong, everything felt different. Hornet's movement was so quick, so fluid, and so snappy that it hooked me instantly. Every dash, every wall jump, every combo felt like it had a rhythm to it. It wasn't just platforming. It was like I was playing an instrument. The pacing was tighter, the flow was faster, and suddenly I couldn't put it down. And here's the weird part. Silksong didn't just grab my attention, it started whispering to me, "Hey, maybe you should give Hollow Knight another try." At first, I brushed it off. I told myself, no, I've tried it already. It's not my thing. But the more I played Silksong, the more I realized it was teaching me something. It wasn't just about being good at combat. It was about slowing down, observing patterns, respecting space. Silksong trained me in the language of Team Cherry's design. And suddenly I started thinking, maybe Hollow Knight wasn't the problem. Maybe I just wasn't ready for it before. So I reinstalled it. And this time, it clicked. The silence of Hallownest, which once felt empty, now felt heavy and meaningful. Every quiet stretch between encounters wasn't boring. It was eerie, full of tension. The combat, which used to feel stiff, now felt deliberate, like every swing of the nail had weight behind it. Boss fights stopped being frustrating walls and started feeling like conversations, each one teaching me something new. And most importantly, the world that once felt too massive to handle now felt like an open invitation. What changed? Not Hollow Knight. It was me. Silksong gave me the patience, the muscle memory, and honestly, the appreciation I needed to finally see Hollow Knight for what it really is. And that's kind of poetic, isn't it? Usually, sequels build on nostalgia. You play them because you loved the first game and you want more of it. But Silksong did the exact opposite. It didn't just make me look forward, it made me look backward. It turned me into the kind of player who could finally appreciate Hollow Knight in the first place. It's kind of like discovering a band through their second album. You hear it, you love it, and then you go back to their debut record. At first it feels rougher, slower, maybe less polished, but you start to notice the DNA of what you love. That's how Hollow Knight felt after Silksong. Less flashy, maybe, but dense, mysterious, and every bit as intentional. And the more I played, the more I started to notice the little things. The healing system, for example. In Hollow Knight, healing feels like a risk. You stop, you focus, and you're vulnerable. It forces you to think carefully about when to pull back. In Silksong, healing is snappier, more aggressive, which pushes you forward instead of slowing you down. They're two very different philosophies, but experiencing Silksong first made me appreciate just how bold Hollow Knight was in its design. It wanted me to pause, to breathe, to take risks that weren't about attacking, but about choosing the right moment to heal. Same with exploration. Silksong feels like it rewards speed and momentum. You're darting across levels, bouncing from enemy to enemy. But Hollow Knight wants you to sink into its world, to get lost, to feel the weight of the silence, to earn the relief of finally finding a bench after a long stretch of wandering. I used to see that as boring. But after Silksong, I realized it was intentional. The game wants you to feel small in Hallownest, because that's what makes every discovery so rewarding. And maybe that's why my journey feels so backwards compared to everyone else. Most players started with Hollow Knight, fell in love, and have been waiting years for Silksong. I started with Silksong, fell in love there, and only then circled back to Hollow Knight. But in a way, that backwards journey gave me something unique. It let me experience Hollow Knight not as a hyped-up indie darling, but as this massive, mysterious world that I finally had the tools and the mindset to appreciate. And honestly, I wouldn't trade that order for anything. Because what I learned is that there's no wrong way to approach these games. Whether you start at the beginning or the sequel, whether you fall in love immediately or bounce off and come back years later, eventually, if the game finds you at the right time, it will pull you in and refuse to let go. And for me, Silksong was the spark, the one that lit the fire. The game that didn't just make me excited for what's next, it made me fall in love with what came before.